Hello, and welcome to our third video on vehicle finance for grade 12 essential math. In this video, we're going to take a look at how you can pay for that vehicle that you'd like to purchase, whether a new or a used vehicle. We're going to look at financing, which is one way that you can pay for them. Other ways, well, you can always pay in cash with a large amount of money. However, usually most people don't have that much cash on hand to purchase a new vehicle, although sometimes you will for a used vehicle. You can also lease a vehicle, which is a little different process, and there's something that you may see around called future value financing or balloon payments. The only thing I'm going to say about those is be very, very careful with them. I've never seen the situation in which that actually works in your favor. Almost always they end up costing you far more than you want. However, financing or taking out a loan for a vehicle is a pretty normal way to pay for a car. Now, when you purchase a vehicle, you're not going to have the cash available, so you take out a loan. The idea is that a bank or financial institution pays the dealership on your behalf, and then you pay back that loan monthly or biweekly in order to pay it all off. You'll often take somewhere between 5 and 7 years to do that. I have seen loans out there for cars for up to 8 years now. A good rule of thumb is don't take a loan for longer than you intend to own the vehicle. So if you take a loan for, say, 5 years, you're expecting to own that vehicle for 5 years. Now, you may also have a down payment, which is good because it will reduce the amount that you have to borrow. Because when you borrow the money, you will need to pay interest on it, and that increases the amount that you have to pay. Now, you pay back this loan with monthly or biweekly payments, or sometimes weekly payments, and those payments will depend on how much you borrowed, how long it will take you to pay it back, and how much interest the bank will charge. You can get a loan from a bank, or you can get a loan from a dealership. Dealerships often will purchase loans from banks in large chunks and will then turn around and offer you a lower interest rate. You can sometimes get 0% interest on loans from a dealership, whereas a bank might charge you 3 or 4% interest. These will change over time, interest rates fluctuate, but note that those incentives, such as a 0% interest rate, may be offset by if you pay cash or get a loan from a bank, they may give you a different discount on the vehicle. Worth checking that out. So when you're financing a vehicle, what sort of costs do you have to pay for? Well, note you still have to pay for the vehicle price, including tax and any incentives or anything else like that. You do also have a down payment. Now, most places will need a down payment. You can get incentives where you don't need to put any money down, but a down payment is good for you. It makes you pay less interest. Your principal is the amount that you need to borrow. Your interest is how much you'll have to pay to the bank. Often this is listed as a finance charge, where it will say, here's how much interest you're going to have to pay in total if you pay back the loan in the order that are at the same rate that it was set up. If you pay it off faster, you might have to pay less interest. And your monthly payments. Your monthly payments will be regular, 12 times a year for monthly, or 26 times a year for biweekly, or 52 times a year for weekly. Those will go on for however many years you have your loan for. So let's take a look at an example as to how this might look. So let's say we've got Maria here who's buying a new vehicle. After her down payment, she finances the remaining balance, and it shows up in this nice little table. This is an example from an old exam, so it's a good one to look at. How much will she need to pay to the bank in total? Now notice it says how much will she need to pay to the bank. Let's try this one. Now, she will need to pay the $29,000. That's how much the vehicle costs, so we're going to start with that, $29,000. However, the down payment she pays to the dealership, so we're going to subtract that. And that will get us $21,000. On top of this $21,000 that she needs to pay for the vehicle, she needs to pay the total tax, that's $37.70. She also needs to pay the finance charge or the interest, $23.86. So she's going to pay all of that in total, and that's going to work out to $27,156. So this is how much Maria is going to have to pay for her vehicle to the bank, including the interest for the whole 48-month period. Now, the next question is, how much is she paying each month? Well, we know she paid this much here over 48 months. So to figure that out, I can actually just take that total and divide it into 48 equal payments, which then works out to $565.75. So there is the answer to part B. Notice that I knew the total, so I could just divide it by 48, or how many payments she made. Now let's take a look at a different example here. So let's say we have Marjorie, who is borrowing $18,000 to finance the purchase of a car, and she does make monthly payments. So what would this look like if we're trying to calculate her finance charge, working the other direction? Well, Marjorie here borrowed $18,000, but she paid $325 every month, so 12 times a year for 6 years. That works out to a total of $23,400 that she paid in total. So this is the total paid. However, she borrowed $18,000 in the first place. If we subtract those, $23,400 subtract $18,000, we end up with a total of $5,400 in interest that Marjorie paid here. So another way to think of this is how much she paid in total, but she only borrowed $18,000. So the question is, how much total interest did she pay? Well, anything above that $18,000. Now, what if we take a look at our next example? Well, Davis is looking at purchasing a used vehicle. Great. For this question, we're going to work in a little bit different direction. We're going to work backwards to try and find out his monthly payment. Some people call this working forwards. It's the same idea, though. So with this, we know that he is borrowing $16,500, and it has a term of 3 years at an interest rate of 4.25%. You can use an online tool or a table to figure out how much you would need to pay for a monthly payment, but they did give us the monthly payment and a rate per $1,000. Now, per 1,000 means divide by 1,000. So in order to calculate this, I'm going to ignore the term and the interest rate because those are used to find the rate per 1,000. So I'm going to take this times 29.64 per 1,000. And remember, per 1,000 literally means divide by 1,000. Plug that into my calculator, and this works out to $489.06. So that's his monthly payment. Notice the 4.25% interest and the 3 years are used to find this. We do not use those numbers in this calculation. I hope that this makes this a little bit clearer. Financing can be a good way to purchase and afford a vehicle because you're paying it off over several months. But be careful when you're looking at the interest rate and how long you're paying it for. The shorter you can pay it off, the faster you can pay it off, the better for you because the less interest you'll pay, but it will cost more per month. So it's a balancing act like anything else. I hope that you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.